Welcome to the Third Wheel Podcast. I'm your host, Shaps, and this is my host, also.
Caleb. Hey, what's going on? I let Shaps do it one time, and this is how it starts.
Now listen, I'm still going. Now, unfortunately, we cannot have our special guest, ChatGPT, cue us in. Very unfortunate. He had a lot of obligation to fulfill, like 1.4 billion users or however many,
Yeah, he's actually a very, very busy them, I don't know, guy.
I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
he'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anyone can get us canceled, it's ChatGPT.
All right, where are we starting off today?
Well, as you know, I do like to start off our show. This is a very recent thing, but I like to start off talking about awkward encounters in fast food or some kind of retail store.
It's always a great thing.
Yeah, but this actually isn't so much like an awkward thing that happened, but I will say, like, when you go to the drive-thru and they're like, hey, will you please pull forward? And I don't mean from the first window to the second window or from the ordering thing to the first window. I'm talking, you go to the second window after you pay. The second window is where you pick up your food, right? And then you get there, they open it up, and you get all excited looking for your food, and then they're like, no, will you please pull forward to the front of the building?
Yeah, they're like, oh, sorry, you ordered the odd meal.
Exactly.
You're going to be that person. And then, like, you take your little route of shame all around, and then everyone's like, what the heck is going on?
But here's the thing, bro. I don't order anything weird. I order whatever the main item is. Like, I'll go to McDonald's and I'll say, hey, I'll do a cheeseburger. Like, that's like McDonald's' main thing. The only thing that would be like more main than that would be the chicken nuggets.
Right.
And I don't say like, hey, take the pickles in my cheeseburger. I want you to rub them together until you start a fire. Like, I don't do anything weird like that. I don't say I want 20 sesame seeds. Yeah. That never happens.
Yeah, if there's one more, I swear I'll send it back. No.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I don't do that. I just say, hey, I'll take whatever, number 1, number 3. And I don't ever do anything weird to it. If it has something I don't want, I'll usually take it off. Like every now and then I'll say no tomatoes, but I usually don't say that. I usually just take whatever I don't want off. And they're like, yeah, please pull forward. We don't have it ready yet. And I was like, that's your main thing, right?
To have it ready.
Yeah, your main thing at McDonald's is your burgers, like.
That, okay, so like that only happens to me if I order my fries well done, or if I'm ordering a lot of chicken.
Like you order more chicken than they have available?
Well, more like, okay, so like in the morning, for instance, at McDonald's, to your point, I'll sometimes get a chicken McGriddle, and that will slow them down.
Oh my gosh.
That will literally say, oh, yeah, I could be the only person there, and they're like, hold on, slow down, sir. It's the morning. I'm like, but it's literally a McGriddle. Like,
yeah,
you're the ones who advertise this.
But a chicken McGriddle?
Yeah, chicken McGriddle.
Those exist?
Dude, they're amazing.
I've never had such a concoction.
Have you ever had a McGriddle?
I've had Pepsi Peeps.
Have you ever had a McGriddle?
I've had a McGriddle. They're amazing.
Dude, the chicken ones are really good, too.
I didn't know such a thing existed.
Yeah, well, maybe because they don't advertise it, because it holds up the line.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be afraid to order one. I ain't trying to hold, I don't want the crowd behind me booing, honking at me, throwing their stuff,
I say I wouldn't do the same, but I totally do, especially at Whataburger.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you are the guy that admitted a few episodes ago that he orders on the app and immediately
now listen, okay, I want to revisit that for a second. For people who are confused, obviously.
Yeah, previously on the Third Wheel Podcast.
Okay, I'll explain Chick-fil-A how they do it again. It's cooked to order, right? It's as soon as you tell them that you're there, they start preparing the food. It's not all the way back 15 minutes ago in your PJs on your bed when you order. No, it's as soon as you get there and tell them your name, that's when they start preparing it because they want to be as fresh as possible. That's what I'm saying. What's the difference between ordering online where you put in every little different, topping you want, or like you have it specially made, exactly how you want it. And instead of having to tell all that to someone, you just say, yeah, I'm Jacob. And they're like, absolutely, move on. Nowhere else is like that, essentially. Because it's always, well, we just got that order. Or they put it in like the corner of shame or something, and you have to get out of your car and go grab it yourself. Chick-fil-A just got it figured out, bro. I'm saying everyone should move over to that module where all you have to do is just say your name and they start preparing it right then and there. And then no one is awkward or shamed or angry. And
earlier I had titled this in my notes Caleb Rants, and I feel like that's been taken from me because he went crazy, guys. I tried to stop him. You saw me. He just went ballistic.
You know what? I have this knife for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, so what drive-thru has the worst line ever?
Whataburger. Well, I mean, okay, Whataburger's an easy
I knew
one.
you would say that. You didn't even hesitate.
Well, okay, come on. We all know that. Whataburger is
Yeah.
notorious for, like, almost intentionally keeping their lines long.
Yeah.
I've actually talked to, like, former Whataburger employees, and they literally admit to it.
We have the inside scoop on Whataburger and
He's like a...
their shady business practices.
In the corner, it's like, I used to be a Whataburger employee. My name is Paul.
Yeah, well, okay, so Whataburger's the worst offender of the please pull forward. Even
Yeah.
though their drive-through, there's only one way out. So, like, even if you pulled forward, you're still blocking everybody else waiting on their food. You know,
You
they're
can't
still,
even cut out of there.
they
really.
still insist on please pull forward and block the way out because we want to hold everyone else up, too.
Well, you know who actually does please pull forward a lot who shouldn't? Squatter Wendy's.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier, you know, a few episodes ago, is like, you could be the only person in line at like lunch or dinner time, ask for one thing, and they will still ask you to pull forward and make you wait 20 minutes. But that's why I love Squatter Wendy's. They're so unique.
So I went to regular Wendy's today, and I mean, that's how I got the idea for this little side pocket we're going through, because I ordered my food. I ordered it straight off the menu. I didn't say, you know, right now it's breakfast time, but I definitely didn't say, yeah, I want 15 potato wedges. I want you to shake the coffee and turn it upside down like
Yeah.
a blizzard. You know, I didn't.
I
Do
want you to
anything
do it
weird.
in front of me.
Yeah, I didn't do anything weird. And then I get to the front, I already paid, and then they're like, yeah, please pull forward. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I pull forward, and I'm sitting there, and I actually sat there a decent amount of time. Like the last time you and I went to that Wendy's, like how they just make you wait forever for no reason.
Yeah, in the restaurant.
Yeah, and then finally they run it out to me. There's no line behind me, by the way. I'm the only one who ordered, and I was like, oh my gosh, bro.
But if they were like, I don't know, praying over it.
I highly doubt that.
I
I
mean-
mean, that would be nice, but the food didn't taste like it was prayed over. The
As we
chicken
know.
biscuit was burnt.
Oh.
It was like extra crispy. Like
Maybe
you
they
had-
were thinking of an excuse to give you, and they just decided not to give you an excuse and just give it to you.
What did we tell them?
I don't know, just,
Can't we just make another one? No, we can't do that.
no, that's not our policy. You know what? Maybe he won't notice.
Yeah, I noticed as soon as I tried to take a bite. Do you have an order that you eat your food? Like, do you eat it like fries first and then sandwich, or sandwich and fries?
Okay.
Do you do half and
Yeah.
half?
So if I'm driving home, typically I'll just like munch on the fries until I get there. Usually there's like no fries left. But if I actually get home and manage to keep my mittens off, you know, I do half and half, and then like I'll do like food, side, drink, in that order, like patterned wise. I tend to do that with most of my meals actually.
Yeah, I actually try to eat it in order of importance, which sounds
Oh,
weird,
okay.
but I have it like prioritized in my head. Like, so I got the chicken biscuit first, and then I ate that because that was the lesser item. It was just for filler.
Lesser.
Yeah, that was like for filler, so I could actually get full. And then I had the
Sure.
breakfast sandwich, which was all your favorite usual suspect items in your sandwich.
Right.
And then that's like the main course. You know, this is for the taste, it's not to get full.
Wow.
I eat that, and then I go fries next, and then taking a drink throughout the whole process. You know, just to-
Interesting.
yeah, I eat my food in order. Like, I mean, this is a whole nother restaurant, but like when you get like the big meal at Denny's, I prioritize it. I have a certain order I eat the food
Wow.
in. Yeah, I don't
That's
ever
a
just
hierarchy.
I don't eat one bacon. I don't eat one sausage and just go around. Like, no, I full on like.
No, that's what the reason I'm doing it is because probably subconsciously I'm thinking about what do I want the last taste of my mouth to be. I don't want it to be something boring. I want it to be the tastiest thing on the plate.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Was like, what was the last thing I want to taste? Like, I usually take a drink at the end. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I accidentally
That would
cleaned my
wash
palate.
everything out,
It's
yeah.
gone. No, I lost the moment.
That's the whole reason I bought this food to begin with, you know?
Yeah, it's just like dust in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that actually took way longer than I thought it would. I thought that would be like a 3-minute conversation.
You would like give one example. I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. And then we move on.
Yeah, just move on 20 seconds in. But
No, bro.
Unfortunately, we always have a ton
Dude,
to say.
fast food always takes up so much time.
I know, and I mean, eventually we'll run out of stories, right? I mean,
Yeah, not so fast anymore.
No, I mean, it's like, and every time we start and then we get done and then I come back next week, something else happened
No.
that I just want to share with the world. Well, guys, I'm actually very happy for y'all because we're at 22 subscribers, and I'm very happy with the show and how it's going. Thank you guys who are subscribing, who listen every week. I'm looking at the numbers; they're actually pretty decent. Like a lot of y'all do listen all the way through, and I really, really appreciate it. And then the guys that drop a like, that's also good too.
And we also subtract all the ones that Caleb rewatches. So
yeah, actually, I don't rewatch it on YouTube. I rewatch it on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't care. I mean, I don't look at Spotify numbers. I barely look at YouTube numbers. I do look at views, but I don't usually look at how long people watch because it might just get discouraging. Yeah. I don't want to have a really good bit and then I look at the chart
and that's where it dropped off.
Yeah, that's where everybody quit listening. I'm gonna start crying. But I really do appreciate you guys. Even if we don't gain any more followers, or maybe if we lose some, we did already kind of lose a subscriber. But I'm wondering if that's like a spam account. All right, first item on our agenda, other than complaining about fast food again, Movie Pass.
Movie Pass.
Are you familiar with Movie Pass?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so when did you start hearing about it?
As soon as my sister started subscribing to it, her and her husband, yeah.
When was that? What year?
Oof. I want to say that was like either before or during COVID.
Oh, so way
yeah.
later than when I started. So I started it in 2017. It was awesome because I started it back when it was $10 a month, and it was like unlimited movies. I think it was, I can't remember if it was unlimited or one movie a day. And I want to say it was one movie a day, one ticket a day. So let's go back further though. So back in 2011, Movie Pass launched. It was like a weird tiered subscription where you paid like $20 a month and you got X amount of movies you could see a day. Let me see if I can find it in this article I'm reading. And by article, I mean everyone's most trusted resource, Wikipedia.
I thought it was Facebook.
Yeah, everything on Facebook's true. Okay. The service was launched in 2011 and allowed subscribers to purchase up to a movie ticket a day for a monthly fee. Okay, so it was based with co-founder Stacy Spikes, and it was another guy who actually they mention, but they don't talk about him that much. So the original thing was you had to get a voucher. You had to print out vouchers and take them to the movie theater and get all that. So that was actually very unpopular when they first launched. It was like vouchers were a hassle.
Right.
And it's like, at the movie theater experience, you just get a ticket and everything's great, everything's golden. But after they did that, they switched to the mobile app. So they launched a beta test and then it switched to a mobile app and electronically prepaid card.
By mobile app, what year was that switch? Does it say?
Let's see, 2012.
Okay.
They switched to a mobile app and a prepaid card.
See, like smartphones weren't like super popular around that time.
No,
so.
they weren't. Like I still had a slide phone that opened up to a full keyboard. Back then.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? This kind of reminds me of Disney Pass and how that started. And actually, there was one time when it switched to a mobile app back when you had the flip phone, right? Way back, when apps really weren't a thing, and you had to like also partner with Verizon, and it was only like for a set amount of hours or something. Like it was very unpopular.
Yeah. So back in 2016, they had a set price. It was around, I want to say $50. And it was $50 for 6 movies per month, and then if you wanted to go higher, it would be like $100 for as many movies as you want, and 3D movies. Like, so, I mean, is it still the best bang for your buck? I don't know. At the time, I'd have to gauge ticket prices.
Honestly, just by hearing those prices alone, I don't think so, because you're only getting one movie free.
Exactly.
If it's $10 a movie per
if you use all 6.
And that's if you use it. Like, that's
Yeah.
assuming there's 6 movies to see.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think so. That's a scam.
Right. Yeah. Like you said, I think you'd only be saving for one ticket if you use all of them. But, I don't even know if you could have redeemed more than one at a time. Because if it was just like you had to go 5 times instead of like you and your family of 5, maybe that would be like worth the money. But I don't know.
That's if you could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. But so like there's a bunch of unknown here because that was a long time ago. But July 2016.
Ooh.
Yes, 2016. Actually,
where boys became men.
I need to look this up real quick. It Chapter 1. This is when I started using it. It Chapter 1 came out. Did you watch It Chapter 1?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
You actually watched it?
Yeah, I went with my sister.
Cool. Oh, awesome. I didn't know you were such a horror movie fan.
I'm not.
Wow, what a wonderful combination. Hey, you want to co-host a podcast with me? That's basically how I asked him, guys. I went back in time in my head and did it all over again.
Yeah. Why?
Anyway, okay, no. So 2017 is when they switched to the new pricing model. They switched it to $10 a month for one movie ticket a day. And it didn't matter what movie you went to. Is that what it was when your sister bought in?
Yeah, essentially what it was.
So I guess it went on for about a year. So It Chapter 1 came out. That's when I purchased the membership. I spent $10, and already right out the gate, they were a little shady.
Really?
Because they said it'll take 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember how many weeks. Well, right out the gate, I didn't hear anything once you got the confirmation, thank you for purchasing.
Yeah.
Because they were overloaded with requests.
Right.
They were like, that's a steal. One ticket a day for $10 a month. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
that's too good to be true. So I order it. I'm waiting on my card. And then once as soon as the 2 weeks hit, right after like the clock hit midnight, you got an email saying, hey, have you noticed your card hasn't come yet? Well, that's because we have a delay.
Have you noticed?
Yeah. We have a delay in processing everybody's orders because we got so many orders. And I was sitting here like, so they already knew.
Right.
And they had purposefully waited to not say anything.
Yeah.
And
dude, it's the Wendy's drive-thru all over again.
yeah, and I was like, okay, that's just a little bit shady, but I was like, I expected it because like I was following the news on it, and it was pretty big at the time. Because again, too good to be true. A lot of people picked up on it. So they were talking about it and how there were so many delays. So I already knew the delay was coming, but it was weird to me how weird they were being about it. It just rubbed me the wrong way. So eventually I got the card, and it came with instructions, and it was a full-on MasterCard, but it said Movie Pass. I have it somewhere. I was trying to find it, but I can't find it. And I have it somewhere because this was like a real thing, for a real event. I was like, I don't want to forget this. This was quite a ride. So I had the card. It was a MasterCard. What you do is you went into the app, and then you would pick what movie you wanted. Legit, you could pick any movie you wanted, and go reserve the spot. You go to the movie theater, any movie theater. AMC hated this. AMC kept trying to shoot it down. That's why it took so long to get so much traction, because AMC wouldn't cooperate. Major movie chains wouldn't cooperate. So when they switched to the $10 a month plan, they still would not. They hated it.
So I have a question real quick. Who owns Movie Pass then?
Who owns it now? Or back then? Back then it was Mitch Lowe, this really skinny white guy.
Well, how is he enforcing that rule is what I'm trying to get at.
The one ticket per day?
Yeah, for all these movie theaters, like
I don't know, because like I was trying to look it up before.
Like where's the money go essentially, and like who's profiting from it, and how are they enforcing it in these movie theaters that supposedly don't want it?
Well, okay, so I'll get it to you just a second. So I'll kind of explain how he said it worked. I'm not 100% convinced, but I was watching some interviews. Anyway, so you pick your theater, you pick your time, you pick your movie, you go up there, you scan. I don't remember if you scanned a QR code, but you went to the kiosk. You typed in, hey, I'm using Movie Pass, or type in your confirmation number, I forget. And it printed out and then you swipe the card, and then it printed out your ticket.
Yeah.
And I was like, it worked. It was $10 for one ticket, and I got to go when Marvel movies came out, I usually saw those 3 or 4 times. So when Thor came out, I saw it multiple times using Movie Pass. And so it worked. Like it was $10 a month, and I got one ticket a day, no matter what. I watched an interview today about how the guy explained how it worked. He was saying that that Movie Pass was covering the cost of the extra tickets. So like if I had gone to watch 5, $10, that's roughly what a ticket cost back then, $10 per ticket, give or take. So in theory, after that first one, any ticket I bought after that was coming out of Movie Pass's pocket. And that I don't know about you, Shaps, I'm no financial analyst. I don't work in accounting, but that doesn't make any sense to me as far as how they were going to make money, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you do that. I was seeing movies every day, and it worked. So in this interview, they asked him, so how are you guys making money? He's like, how do y'all deal with people going every day? And he's like, well, anytime any company announces an all-you-can-eat buffet style of, business model, everyone right out the gate, they're for the first few months, they're going to start using all the time every day going to go see a movie. But eventually it'll fizzle out. And then as we're able to push out promotions, and we're pushing out special deals, and let's say we'll offer you guys a soundtrack for the movie you just watched as you're walking out, that's where we'll make our money back. He was talking about basically what video games would call microtransactions. That's what he was talking about. So he justified the $10 price tag by saying like, yeah, we'll make, we're going to lose money for a few months, but after that, once it fizzles out, we're going to make it back through other stuff we push. Surprise, surprise, they went bankrupt like really fast.
Right.
So going back to the shady stuff, they would change their prices they would change their policies without telling people. So when Infinity War came out, the third Avengers movie, they changed their policies kind of overnight to say, I remember they were saying now, because people had started printing out their ticket and trying to sell them. and like so, you know, they'll purchase their ticket for Infinity War and then scalp it and sell it to other people.
What a weird concept.
Yeah. So they would do that, and so what they ended up doing was they limited it to like, okay, well now you can only see 3 movies a week or something like that. They changed it to where not 1 per day. Now you have to see it, you know, now you only get 3 movies a month or maybe 3 movies a week. I forget. So people ruined it by trying to scalp tickets and sell them for more prices. So they changed it overnight. Hey, we're limiting this now. By the time Mission Impossible Fallout came out, I was excited. I was getting ready to use MoviePass. I can't remember if it was a year later or something. I can't remember when that movie came out. But I do remember, like, okay, cool, I'm excited. Mission Impossible Fallout. I pulled up MoviePass, and none of the good premium films were listed. So they took them out, and I was like, okay, what the heck? And they had movies there I had no interest in seeing. So later I was like, what the heck's going on? Maybe it's something wrong with the app. Like, okay, well, I'll take a hit. Let's go see Mission Impossible on my own. And so when I did, later on I got an email saying, hey, did you notice that you couldn't see the movie you wanted to see this weekend?
Well, it always starts with that.
Yeah.
Did you notice, you idiot?
Yeah, I was like, did you notice, like, you know, you couldn't do what you wanted to do? And I was like, what the heck? So when I read it, and like, yeah, so we're changing our policy to where now you have to pay extra for premium releases. So then it was the $10 per month, and then if you wanted to see a movie you actually wanted to see, you had to pay extra. And so they just started getting weird. They started upping their prices, and they switched to $15 a month. They started just changing their stuff.
And then everyone starts to just trickle out.
Started canceling.
Like, literally, they didn't even realize. I don't even think. Were they just delusional, or did they knew exactly what they were doing? They just get a whole bunch of customers and then try to screw them over. Kind of like what he was saying, I guess. But like, it really is like, what do you think is going to happen? You charge $10, like you could probably charge like 20 or 25 and still get people who would subscribe to it if it was a solid business model. But it sounded like they just wanted to open the doors up for free and then charge people to leave, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's just like, he was Mitch, what did I say, Mitch Lowe?
Yeah.
That's the name of the guy, the CEO. He was so nearsighted. Mm-hmm. So the co-founder of the original MoviePass, like, he had a solid plan that was kind of working. And then once they were bought out by that parent company, Helios and Matheson, that's back when they unveiled the $10 price tag. And that's when Mitch Lowe was like, hey, you know, I'm excited for this new direction we're taking MoviePass. But before that, it was Stacy Spikes, and he got fired from the company because he was like disagreeing with this model. Like, it's not going to work. You know, what are y'all doing? Another thing that was weird about it was the fact that, so this is after they changed all the policies, they changed the prices on people. They kind of slid in, hey, agree to these terms and conditions. Once they slid that in there without really telling anybody about it, that's when I canceled. And they tried to get me to come back with all these offers. Hey, we upped our prices, but here's what you can get. And I'm just like, I'm good, bro. Like, they already kind of messed with me. And, I mean, when it worked, it worked. And I was very disappointed when they changed it. But, like, it just made no sense. Like, they weren't going to make money. So, another thing they did was they actually even tried to get into distributing, or I don't know if they were making movies or they were distributing them. So, let me pull this up. Okay, this is so weird because they only made one movie. So do you know the guy John Gotti? He's like this old famous crime boss. Yeah. Let me see. So MoviePass financed. I think they made the movie. I'm gonna double check. Sorry guys, you can hear all this tapping. That was one problem when Matt was on. Every time he typed something in ChatGPT, you hear you just hear it banging. Okay, 2018, when MoviePass was starting to go under, they tried their hand at making movies. So let's see. April 12, 2018, it was announced that Vertical Entertainment was the new film's distributor. On April 25th, 2018, it was announced that MoviePass Ventures, a subsidiary of MoviePass, acquired an equity stake in the film and will participate in the revenue generated from the film. All right, so it looks like they just kind of helped finance it.
Yeah, essentially just buying stock for the movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this was like a movie that MoviePass was pushing. Like, yeah, we want to go back to, we want to start promoting movies and start helping finance and whatnot. So Gotti comes out with John Travolta. It's garbage. Like, it's supposed to be a crime mob boss movie, and it's terrible. And of course, it's got John Travolta, so it's weird because he's a weirdo. And then, okay, so observers were quick to note a large disparity on Rotten Tomatoes between the audience approval score of 80% and the 0% critic score during the film's opening weekend.
Ooh.
Okay. So,
nasty.
Okay, right. So it's a big difference. So MoviePass made this weird video, and they put it on YouTube saying like, oh, critics don't want you to see this movie. And it's like, the audience score is really high, but critics don't want you to see it. Why? But it was done in a weird, like the text would show up. It was like a weird kidnapping ransom video. You know what
So
I'm
it's
saying?
like a weird, desperate ploy to get people to go
Yes.
watch the movie.
So
they
what
can
had
get some more
happened?
money.
So someone at MoviePass had cloned a bunch of fake accounts for audience and boosted the audience score to make it up to 80%.
Oh my god!
So when Rotten Tomatoes caught wind of that, when they fixed it, now it's the audience scores are like 45%, which like is
Right.
right. That actually makes sense. And so like a guy, Dan Muriel of Screen Junkies, noted that the big difference between the scores like made no sense. Like it's just like there's no reason why a critic score would be 0 and then the audience score would be 80%. He's like this doesn't happen, right?
No.
And so once they fixed it, they realized, okay, these are all like spam accounts. So they suspect MoviePass had made a bunch of fake accounts and had bumped the score up. And then, like I said, that weird video they released saying like critics don't want you to see this. Why? Go see it for yourself and find out.
They probably planned that out.
Yeah, and they're like, don't listen to trolls behind a keyboard. That was in the video they made.
Oh
Don't
my
listen to
gosh.
trolls behind a
I need
keyboard.
to see this video soon.
Yeah, I know. I encourage you guys to watch it on your own time. It was weird. It was shady. And so after that, that's when they kind of went bankrupt. So
If you got an email and it said, "Did you notice that Gotti has an 80% score?"
I probably did. I actually went back to look at some old emails I got from them. Nothing crazy, just a bunch of, hey, come back to us ads.
Yeah.
I couldn't scroll down far enough to find the weird ones that I was trying to describe to you. So that's like the short history of MoviePass. However, it's back. So they're pumping out cards again. The original guy, Stacy Spikes, he bought it back after they went bankrupt.
Wow.
So as far as I know, when he bought it or when he started the company, it was fine. It worked non-shady.
Yeah.
I'm told now it works the same way. It's not $10 a month, but they have tiered plans. So if you want to pay $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, you get all these different packages. And when I was looking, it was saying like each package comes with X amount of credits, and then the credits you use to spend on what you want, movie-wise.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and I was like, that's probably a lot more stable than how
Right.
Mitch Lowe had it. That guy was an idiot. And every time they interviewed him, asking him like, "Hey, so what's your plan? Looks like y'all are losing money." He's like, "Oh no, it's fine." And then that was it.
Are you not committing fraud today?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
exactly.
from
Yeah.
a perspective,
I know, it's
yeah.
just crazy. So, I don't know, bro. MoviePass was so weird to me. I just don't understand what was going on. Some people are just delusional, bro.
Hell yeah.
It's ridiculous how delusional people can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, it's back. I'm kind of curious. I almost kind of wanted to start... I was thinking about getting a membership again under Stacy Spikes' rule. I'm not sure, though, because I don't go to the movies as much as I used to. I used to
Sure.
enjoy going by myself to see the movies. I don't like going by myself anymore, bro.
Do I need to get a movie pass as well?
Yeah, let's get MoviePass and then come back. Yeah, guys, it still sucks as much.
Actually, could we get like a? I don't want to pay for it. Could we get our viewers to like, I don't know, pool together like a
we
donation?
need a sponsor, guys.
Like we'll go to whatever movie you want. Just like pay for a movie pass.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be super excited about that. All right, when's the last time you went to the movie shops? I'm curious.
Jeez, I'm so embarrassed. It was Avatar: Way of Water.
Ooh, that was months ago.
I know.
That was like Christmas.
I know.
We started this podcast back in January.
I know. I'm so bad.
Oh my god.
I'm very, very bad.
Guys, I'm very disappointed in you, bro.
Are you now?
Yes. Okay.
I don't know, man. All my friends usually are already going with other people. And then it's like only a few select movies. I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to get up off my butt and go down and drive and use up gas and pay a premium for a movie I could just stream in a month or two and buy a very expensive popcorn. Yeah, you see, it's like you have to work myself up to it.
You
It
have a
has-
job. You can afford it. I don't want to hear it.
That's that's wise. Yes, if you can afford it, just pay for it.
Yeah, if you can buy it,
If you've
just
got the
buy
money,
it.
that's what money's for.
What's the point of having all this money if I can't spend it? Just burning a hole in my savings account.
Honestly, what are your savings anyway? It's sitting there. It's not worth doing anything.
All right, the last movie I saw was not Ant-Man 3. I actually saw Shazam this past weekend. and
How was that?
It was really good. I enjoyed it. I will say I think I liked the first one better. But Shazam 2 was a good movie. It was hands down good. But before that, I saw Ant-Man 3.
Okay.
And
I heard some very interesting things about that movie.
yes, and while we're not going to really dig into the movie itself, I want to talk about the box office because I love the box office.
You love the box? All right, box office corner.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, welcome back to Caleb's Box. Caleb's Box. What do
Oh,
we got in
actually-
the box today, Caleb?
Actually, the box office went up.
Ah.
Okay. So it made, when I checked earlier, it only made like twice its money back. But I guess we're going through the weekend now, and it looks like it went up. So let me see. Oh wait, nope. wrong one. This is Ant-Man 2.
A little bit different.
I was like, oh, dang, it really went up. Where's the Wikipedia article? Did they delete it? Are they?
Dude, they're trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
It's shrunk.
I found it. Okay, all right, that's better. Okay, budget, $200 million. I will say, as much as I enjoyed the movie, it did not look like $200 million.
$200 million for
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
3, not Ant-Man 1, like when they first announced it.
3.
Ant-Man 3.
I mean, this was I think this was their kickoff of Phase 5 or whatever, but like, dude, what's an average budget for one of these Marvel movies?
That's about it, honestly.
200 million.
I will say it doesn't look like, because like, you know, as much as I hate on Avatar 2, like, you know, where you can see where the money went. You can see where the effects went. The money for the effects and the VFX team, they worked really hard to get it to look good, at least. As much as I hate the movie, it looked good. Whereas this one, like, I loved it. Like, they did a bunch of cool creative designs for all the characters and the villains and all that kind of stuff. But the CGI was really bad. The green screen was really bad at some points. It was shocking. And so with a budget of $200 million, it makes you wonder where that money actually went. You know what I'm saying? But I actually, when I heard this was interesting. A bunch of the VFX guys had complained about how they didn't have the resources to make the movie look great. Did you see about that?
The resources.
Yes. Now, I don't necessarily mean money-wise. They're talking about manpower-wise. So they had claimed that all the VFX guys, all the big ones, all the guys that knew what they were doing, got sent over to Black Panther 2. And that movie looked great. Like, CGI was great, effects were awesome, action was great. But the guys that were making Ant-Man 3, which is supposed to be their big kickoff of Phase 5, had complained. The guys that made that movie complained that all the resources went toward Black Panther 2 and not necessarily on Ant-Man 3. You could tell.
Interesting.
The VFX looked pretty bad on some points. Like MODOK, I love the idea of MODOK. You know, the big head with the helmet. You know, evil big head guy. That was funny. But he looked terrible. It looked so bad. The CGI was terrible on him. And that was supposed to be their big kickoff for the next phase of the MCU. And up until now, I hadn't been like disappointed in the Marvel films, but they weren't like as good as they had been leading up to Avengers: Infinity War or Endgame. You know, Phase 4 was a bunch of like just random standalone adventures that didn't really have an emotional impact on me. And I was very disappointed. Like Thor 4 disappointed me. Did you watch that one?
No, I didn't.
It wasn't that good, and it was the same director, same cast, everything should have been the same, and it should have been a good movie, and it wasn't that good.
Well, yeah, Phase 4, I believe, has the most movies, or almost the most amount of movies as any of the phases.
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
I think it has more movies.
But there were so
content.
many duds. There were so many mid-tier films that just weren't great. I liked Doctor Strange 2. I liked Spider-Man 3, the one with all the other actors.
I saw someone do an editorial about this very subject recently,
Yeah.
and his point was the other phases had less movies. They had duds, though.
Yeah.
So, like, if you had a phase, can't even think of one, that had, like, 3 movies, but one of them's a dud, then that's 1/4 of your phase that's a dud. With this new phase, or Phase 4, where, like, he said that half of them weren't duds. I'm trying to think about which all were actually really good. It sounds about right, 50-50, maybe a little less. I mean, like, it's kind of hard because you're combining all the TV shows as well.
Yeah.
And that's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, did Ant-Man look like a TV show? Like a TV show budget?
I won't say TV show budget, but I will say it didn't look as good as some of the other ones, especially for the amount of stuff they were trying to tackle, creative and VFX-wise.
Oh, yeah.
They were really trying to be creative with the designs and all this other stuff, but CGI just wasn't up to par.
That's like a no-brainer, right? I mean, like, if you think Black Panther versus Quantumania, like, the whole movie has to be CG.
Yeah.
Versus Black Panther, where, like, probably most of it, not most of it, but, like, half of it is at least CG. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
And this is, like, their first, I won't say box office fail, because, like, okay, so the budget, again, $200 million, but the box office was $450 million. This is their big movie that's supposed to push the new Thanos of the MCU. Kang the Conqueror, this is the next big bad guy. Right, and it barely made twice its money back. So you know that we talked about this before when we talked about box office. A movie needs to make twice its money back that it cost to make the film to break even, because even though the budget's $200 million, marketing is about the same price as well. So to market the film, trailers and all the other stuff, TV spots, it's double the price of the movie. So really,
They just kind of broke even.
to make this movie, it cost $400 million. So the box office was $452 million. So here's another issue: Ant-Man was never a big box office draw character. So I'm shocked that they would put so much resources. And I'm talking about money because, like I said, that I'm hearing that they sent the manpower over to other films. But the budget, like so much money went into this one for a character that generally hasn't drawn that many tickets. You know?
No, he's always like kind of the odd one that people go to watch. Yeah. And I always kind of got like weird looks when I said that it was my favorite of the third phase, whatever, which one it was.
Phase 2.
Phase 2, yeah. But I really liked Ant-Man, but like a lot of other people didn't, or they just didn't even know about it, didn't even go watch it.
Yeah.
So it is interesting.
So the first movie, the budget was $130 million, which isn't like the biggest difference, but it's almost half.
Right.
Right? So the box office on that was $519 million when it was all said and done worldwide. Against a $130 million budget, again, times 2, they still made like about twice their money back.
Yeah.
Okay. Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, came out. The budget, I want to say, let me see here, I want to say around 200, but let me double check. Ant-Man and the Wasp cost, again, same budget, $130 million, or they estimate 130 to 195. So almost about 200.
Yeah.
But if it was on the lower end of 130.
We could average, like, I don't know, 150, maybe 160.
Sure. Okay, so box office, $622 million. So that's pretty good, right? Against a box office of, let's say it was $200 million. That's still a very big profit, when it's all said and done, okay? Think about when Ant-Man 2 came out. It came out right after Infinity War. So people were clamoring to see, like, they wanted to get hints of Endgame, like something.
Yeah.
So when that movie came out, it was right after Infinity War, whenever Thanos snapped the universe out of existence, and people in the theater went crazy, and they wanted something. They wanted to know what happens next. So the next movie coming out, Ant-Man and the Wasp, where do you think they went? They went to go get that little tease for Endgame because they wanted some kind of like what happens next. So I think that's what drew up the box office on this one, on Ant-Man 2, right? And so then you get to the third one. It actually makes the least out of all 3 Ant-Man films. Again, $452 million against the biggest budget that we know for sure.
It's the first time that he's ever had to been like completely standalone. But he's not riding on anyone's success.
Because this movie was supposed to usher in the next thing, the next phase. And here it is, $200 million budget, $450 million. That, like, they barely made any money back, if any. Like, I mean, these are all estimates as far as budget goes, but like the rule of thumb is typically the budget price times 2. So $400 million to make the movie, $452 million back. That's almost nothing.
Man.
Okay, so if you're a nerd like me and you've paid attention, which it's okay. It's okay if you haven't, but I did. And I'm sitting here thinking they pushed back the release date of all their stuff. So they delayed Loki season 2, which did you watch season 1?
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I loved it.
I loved it. Right. They pushed it back. And they pushed back a bunch of other films. The Marvels, the new Captain Marvel movie and Kamala Khan and all that, they pushed that back. Everything's kind of getting delayed.
You think that calls for a rewrite?
So I think the Marvels is already made, and I think I think some of their movies, Loki season 2, I'm pretty sure it's already filmed. They're supposed to release sometime this summer.
Yeah.
Those are already made. What I think they're doing is they're pushing back these next upcoming films to give more time for the next movies to start getting rewrites. I think a problem with MCU nowadays is they've gotten too comfortable with just delivering the same shtick. On top of that, for whatever reason, either the shtick isn't hitting us as hard as it used to, but I think that they got too comfortable in, what's the word I want to use? I had the word earlier, and now I lost it. Indulging. They've been indulging themselves on just like, oh, we can make whatever we want and it works and people love it. People are going to watch us anyway. I think they got super comfortable at just pushing out mid-tier films, average movies that are just like not blowing anybody away. And now it's starting to hurt. Like this is their first major movie that has not made a decent amount of money back.
I bet they're also sweating over James Gunn taking over DC, with the DCU.
You think so?
Probably. I mean, like, that's kind of a wild card if you think about it. Like, sounds like DC has a lot planned, like they're going to definitely overhaul so much, and people are definitely going to go see whatever the next movie for DC is, like, by a long shot. People are excited to see what James Gunn has in store. What Marvel movie are people like excited and clamoring to see now? After Ant-Man comes out, we've seen Kane, and then what is next? To see the rest of Kane, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no real draw anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I admire them for trying to, like, okay, we did Thanos at the very end. We introduced him, so now we're going to introduce King early and then, like, build him over time. I don't think the movie actually did that great of a job of building him up and explaining him, but I like the movie. I don't know what's going on with Marvel right now. Like I said, I just really feel like they think they can pump out whatever and people will eat it up.
Yeah.
Now, you get something like DC. So in the comic world, DC was like the original. They made all the original stuff, the original stories, and Marvel is able to piggyback off of that, scale back their character powers. That way they're more relatable, make cooler characters. So the advantage of not being the first people to make comics and make superheroes, the advantage is being able to see what works in that universe and improving on it in their universe. Mm-hmm. Now in the movie world, it's kind of flipped. So you get Marvel was the first to get to the bag on cinematic universes and superhero movies and making them popular, right? Okay, so now as the movies are starting to suck and they're starting to lose money and they're making all these mistakes and pushing back, now DC's able to watch them and learn from their mistakes and go from there. Originally, like we've talked about before, back when DC first decided they're going to make cinematic universes, they were trying to copy Marvel and thought if we just make garbage and chill it out, it'll be fine. And people will go see it regardless. Clearly not the case. So now with James Gunn, having worked over there at Marvel and learning how things work and how scheduling works, him and Kevin Feige are good friends. Now he's able, when he's making his universe, he's able to look, okay, Phase 4... and the start of Phase 5 not working. So when I make my universe, it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be focused and it's gonna be ready to go. So yeah, I think there are advantages to being the first, to beating something to the punch. Marvel was the first cinematic universe. Everyone's trying to copy them, and then of course it doesn't work. Yeah. So now DC, learning from their mistakes now and learning from Marvel's mistakes, they're able to focus up more and pay more attention to stuff. I'm a little worried for Marvel because I'm still on board. I'll still go see any Marvel film, but like if the movies aren't making any more money, like why would they keep going?
I don't think they're ever going to stop, genuinely.
I hope not, but I mean, I want them to go back to the drawing board and start working on, okay, we can't just keep pumping out the same thing over and over.
I mean, I don't know. That's like saying no one's going to watch any more of the new Star Wars shows. Like, there'll always be a market for it, a profitable market or a slightly profitable market. Right. Even though, like, Star Wars shows arguably aren't doing too well right now. Not nearly as well as they were when Mandalorian came out. But Disney still has, like, a plethora, an armada of these shows planned out because they're putting their money on it. So if they lose Marvel, dude, like, if they stop... They can't afford to stop making Marvel movies. That's probably their most consistent money maker machine.
I don't know, because now we're getting to where it's not so consistent anymore.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it's not so consistent, I mean, the studios are here to make money, so like once they stop making money, I mean,
yeah,
that's the end.
Who knows?
And not the end, but like you said, because like I'm sure they would just reboot it and try again if they could. Yeah. So, okay, I really want Shazam to do good, because like,
yeah,
it looks like it's going to stay tied into James Gunn's universe. It looks like that's where they're going with it, so I'm excited. We'll see. I guess I'll have to talk about that next time.
We should at least go see Flash together.
Oh, for sure.
I'm genuinely excited for that.
Yeah, I wish you would have gone to see Ant-Man with me, you jerk. I tried.
Oops.
Okay.
I forgot what I was doing. Something important, I think.
Yeah, I was doing something like, not hanging out with you. Way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I feel like we could shove in one more restaurant thing. Do you have a favorite breakfast place to go to?
I don't really eat breakfast, but I do really like Waffle House.
You know what I can do? I got a good story.
Okay.
Have you ever met anyone famous?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, wait, who have you met?
I've met Vic Mignogna.
The heck's that?
He is one of the most famous American voice actors in the world.
Wait a minute. Okay, I actually didn't know much about him. Doesn't he do anime characters?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. He's one of the most famous anime voice actors in the world.
One of the most famous.
For like American, I mean.
I want to say I tried Googling him and I was still confused.
I didn't know how to spell his name.
All right, you know what? That's rude.
He's the voice of Broly. He was the voice of Broly.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Okay, well, guess who I saw last week?
Was it The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, I got to see Lou Ferrigno. And he's actually kind of cool. He's old, though. And I guess, so back from the original Hulk TV series, he was like jacked.
Oh, yeah.
He was so jacked. Like back before they had CGI, they just got a jacked guy and painted him green, and that was the Incredible Hulk. Well, him being really old now, he's not so jacked anymore, and it made me feel better about myself because I was like, even if I work out real hard and just go at it, I'm never, in the end, it doesn't matter. I still look old and, it still looks like I didn't try throughout my whole life.
That's depressing. And what a loser thing to say.
But no, he was cool. I got him to sign my comic book.
That's awesome.
Pretty nice, yeah.
That's nice of Mr. Lou.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ferrigno. I hope you hear this.
Oh,
and I'll just cut out the part where I said, "Yeah, he doesn't look so great."
You look like
no, I'm kidding.
Fat old guy trying to do the muscle thing.
No, he wasn't fat. He was just, he was just old.
Right.
No, he was still cool. I didn't know this, but apparently he's deaf now. He had like hearing aids in.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, he's 70. He looks really good for 70 years old.
Yeah.
Like Speaking of famous people, I didn't get to shake his hand because he was busy. But I got to see George W. Bush, one of our famous presidents of the United States.
Wait, where was this?
Where was it? Don't tell me you were there too.
Was this recent? I mean, a friend of mine, Lily, just did.
Oh, no. This was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I was 18.
Oh.
Okay, so the George W. Bush Museum opened up. Okay?
He went. Okay.
Yeah, so it's in Dallas or towards Dallas.
Yeah.
And he has his own museum. There's some really cool exhibits there from his presidency. So he had a 9/11 thing where they had a bunch of pieces from 9/11, pieces of the buildings in there. And there's this really cool room where you get to make a decision based on a policy. So you pick what policy you want to do, and you click a button, and your advisors pop up. You got all these different sides telling you what to do. Like, hey, you can't approve that because this will happen. You got another guy who's like, no, you need to approve it because we need funding in this area, and this is all the good it will do. And then the other guy, they almost do like a little debate, and then you pick what you want to do. And then George Bush pops up, and he's like, here's what I did in that situation. You know what I mean? And it's a pretty interactive exhibit. So he has a replica of the Oval Office, which is kind of cool. And we all got to take pictures on his seat. So one of my old Facebook profile pictures is me sitting in the president's chair. I look like a dork. My hair's long. I didn't know how to grow a beard. Still working on that too, by the way. And then, so one of my profile pictures is me like in the president's chair, looking like the president, even though I look like a kid. And for the opening, he showed up, and I knew it was coming. So it wasn't the opening. It was like a preview, like a sneak preview of the museum.
Soft opening?
Yeah.
Soft
Yeah, because they took a bunch of kids from different schools there, for like a field trip. So I got to go. And I had a feeling that he was going to pop up.
Please tell me he walks over and says, "You're sitting in my chair, sir."
Even worse. He corrected me in front of the all the classes, right?
Oh my
so
gosh.
He comes in.
You have beef with
I have a beef
Bush?
with President George W. Bush. I have beef with a former president. All right? So I will never forget this President Bush. All right? I can forgive No Child Left Behind. Okay, ruining our education system. I can let that go. But I can't stand when you're wrong and you make me sound like I'm wrong in front of all my friends.
Okay, well now I have to be. Hey, speaking of interactive, let's put a poll out and see if Caleb was right or wrong. Then we'll have advisors come in and say...
Yeah. I'm okay with opening this up to the public and saying, hi, you're an idiot.
Come on, man. Bring it on. All
right. So he pulls up a U.S. coin. I don't remember which one.
Okay, great start.
He holds it up. Okay, and he's like, E pluribus unum. It's Latin. And he asked everybody in the audience, hey, what does it mean? Me, having been homeschooled and my mom telling me what E pluribus unum means, one out of many, I was like, I raised my hand. I was like, oh, Mr. President, I know what that means.
He's like, a good, healthy American.
Yeah, he's like, yes, young man, what does it mean? And then I said, one out of many. And then everyone, I got a pat on the back from some people. And then he's like, actually, son, it means many out of one. And I was like...
Wait a minute.
Yeah, and I was like... But I didn't get to say anything because the same guy that patted me on the back just went, just shook his head of disapproval at me.
Just so everyone knows, I just looked it up. It says, out of many, one.
Yeah. So I was like, Mr. President, how could you?
Dude, you showed him up. And he was like, well, I can't be wrong about my own. This is my thing.
Yeah.
No, child, you're wrong.
And I couldn't speak up and correct him because everyone else was asking him questions and he was giving his little speech and I was like,
dude, what if the teacher literally what great karma would have been if someone else was like, no, actually, Mr. President,
I wish, but nobody stood up for me.
This should be the Caleb Museum.
Ever since then, yeah, for real. It put me in the real Oval Office. It was time. me being 18 and not knowing anything about foreign policy.
Actually, that's such a terrible thing,
isn't it? I'm not crazy, right?
I'm sorry, Kayla. That's awful.
Yeah. So I went to a Stars game a couple years ago. I think it was before COVID, and it was like the season opener. And then, he comes out to push the puck out on the ice, and I was the only guy in there like, boo!
And you you send someone to trip him up, like,
yeah,
down with the First World Order.
And it's like, at the time I wasn't as sarcastic or quippy. I was more so like, no, that's wrong, Mr. President. But nowadays I'd be like, sir, I'd hate to show you up, you being the president and all, knowing everything. But...
Oh, dude, I'd love to see that. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I have pictures of him. He was a little bit more sarcastic. And I get it because, like, I'm sure he's been through so many photo ops. He's been through all this crap. But whenever we were all lined up, when he popped in... And then he ran to the front of the group, and we took pictures. He thumbs up or whatever. And then everyone was like, "Hey, can we take individual pictures?" Like, no thanks. I guess he was on his way out because Obama had just been put in.
He just had like some sort of conference or something that my buddy actually ran audio for. He gave him a microphone and everything.
Oh.
If I knew that beforehand, I would have had him pull out a coin. Be like, "Excuse me, Mr. Former President."
Maybe in the age of, celebrities selling pictures and selling autographs, maybe he'll show up one day and I get to see him again. Be like, "You remember me, sir?"
He's like,
of course
my God. He's like, "Don't you dare you." Yes, I did. It's the same coin.
I reach into my jacket like I'm pulling a gun out and just pull out a penny. "You remember this, sir?"
Get down, sir. You don't have to answer that. It's like anime style. It's like, you have no idea.
Yeah. I've done a lot of things in my lifetime, guys, and one day I'll open up and share it with all of you, but that was one of my oldest memories of, I guess, as an adult, because I think I was 18 when that happened.
Fantastic.
Yep, those were the days. Those were the golden years. I'll never get them back. So, yep. All right, I think that's a good stopping point for this show. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let me know. Thumbs up.
Wait. I can do the outro.
I was going to say, let me know what you thought of Shaps' intro.
How about this? Let me know what you think of the outro.
Yeah, let's do that. So please like, comment, subscribe. Or if you don't like his intro, I guess you can dislike too. That's fine, I guess. But, comment. I prefer you commented and tell us what you thought of his outro. Should he do it more? Should he do it less?
Here's my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Kayla appreciates you. But most of all... your parents appreciate you. Thank you and good morning.